Welcome again to Cottage Talk. I am Russ Goldman. This is my preview of Fulham's match against Aston Villa at Craven Cottage. These are my 5 keys to victory for Fulham against Aston Villa. I'll be sharing that in the next 10 to 15 minutes in this episode. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters find us. Okay, so before I get into this match and really give you my 5 keys to victory, heading into it, Fulham have some momentum. A huge victory, a couple of draws. These are good things heading into this match. 2 players returning from the African Cup of Nations, according to the presser from the manager, Marco Silva. Everyone's available except for Raul Jimenez. That is great news. We saw the return of Harry Wilson. We saw the return of Adama Traore. Fulham have many options to start and on the bench. These are all good things coming up in a match against an opponent who's a very good opponent. Let's give Aston Villa the credit they deserve. I thought that they would slide back. They have not slid back. This is actually an opportunity for them to solidify themselves. This is a big match for them. It really is. It's, I think, a big match for Fulham, but this is also one for Aston Villa. They're going to want to win this. And like I said, I think that this is a team with a very good manager and some very good players. But Fulham are home. Fulham are playing this side for the second time, and I think that's an advantage because I know who the manager is of Fulham, and I know that he will make adjustments from that first time. So if you're an Aston Villa supporter and thinking that it's going to be a lot like the first time these clubs played, just remember what happened last week. Their supporters thought that, and that was proven dead wrong. One of the reasons why I feel strongly that Fulham have a very good chance to get all 3 points is pretty much a full-strength squad except for Jimenez. You have the players coming back from the African Cup of Nations, players getting healthy, and coming off of a huge victory. A lot of positive signs heading into this match. I like Fulham's chances, and I'll share them coming up right now with my 5 keys to victory. Let's start with number 5. Marco has to win the coaching battle. Now, he's going up against a very good coach in Unai Emery, and a couple ways he can win the coaching battle would be, first, getting the starting 11 right. And I'll share what I think he's going to do coming up in my thoughts on the starting 11 and what I think Marco's going to do. But if he gets this right, I think that's a step in the right direction. One place where I think he has made some mistakes lately has been substitutions, when to make the substitutions. I think he has to get all of that spot on. And most importantly, he has to get the strategy right. He has to analyze, him and his staff, what went wrong at Villa Park, correct it, and be ready to play a Villa side who's very good and have a good game plan. And just allow the players to execute that plan to get all 3 points. I think Marco's up for the challenge, but this is my number 5 key to victory. Number 4, the left-hand side for Fulham needs to dominate the match. Now, what's going on here is in the last match, I knew Fulham had an advantage after I talked to a Bournemouth supporter talking about the right back position of Bournemouth. I'm hearing similar things coming from Aston Villa supporters, situations with their team, with it could be Matty Cash, and I know Matty Cash is a good right back, a decent right back, but I like Fulham's left-hand side. If they dominate here, it's going to set up Fulham for a victory. We're talking Willian, Robinson, and Kearney. I expect Kearney to start, so I see that triangle giving them all kinds of trouble. And if they do, Fulham have a very good chance to win. They need to dominate Fulham's left-hand side. Number 3, João Palhinha has to have a man-of-the-match performance. This is in my 5 keys often, and I think it's important because when Palhinha is having one of those matches, Fulham tend to get points and usually win. So if he's having one of these matches and really being the tackle machine that we know he can be, protecting that back 4, I think Fulham have an excellent chance to get all 3 points. He's that important. He's Fulham's best player. Paulinho has to have a man of the match performance, and I would back him for that. I think he'll be up for the challenge. They know who they're facing, and I know Paulinho knows that, and I expect a very good match from him, but it has to be the man of the match style performance. Number 2. So I got this wrong last week. I actually said that Fulham needed to get Armando Broja involved early and often. Of course, it turned out to be Rodrigo Muniz. I expect Muniz to start in this match. I think it would be very unfair after scoring 2 goals and being the man of the match performer he was in the last match to drop him. So get the ball to Muniz early and often. And I'd like to see him show the hold-up play, show the running ability that he actually showed in this last match and get his teammates involved and also be clinical. He was clinical in the last match. But I think to get him to where he needs to be, Fulham need to feed him the ball. They need to get the ball to Muniz. So I think that's my number 2 key to victory for Fulham. Coming up next is my number 1 key to victory for Fulham, along with my starting 11, what I think Marco will do with the starting 11, and then I'll end with my prediction for the match. Okay, so my number 1 key to victory involves the Fulham supporters at Craven Cottage, and I know they will not let us down. No way. Number 1, show Alex Iwobi the love, and I know they're going to. And I think this is going to be a huge key to the victory. I think they're going to help pull Fulham over the line by showing the love to Alex Iwobi, who deserves it. We've all seen the stories of the online abuse he was dealing with after the final of the African Cup of Nations from some Nigerian supporters. I'll say some. And based on what I watched, he looked pretty upset by it. And I don't blame him. Here's a player that I think is right up there with Paulinho. I think he's that important to Fulham and Bernd Leno. I think these are really key players. So I don't know if Alex Iwobi is going to start, but I know he's going to be involved. And I know the Fulham supporters at Craven Cottage are going to show him the love. And I think that's going to give a boost, not just to him, but the whole team and all the Fulham supporters, the coaching staff, everyone. Show him the love. Get behind Alex Iwobi. I know you're going to, and I think that's going to be a huge key to this victory. And I'm expecting a Fulham victory. I'll predict that in just a few minutes. Okay, so let's go to my starting 11. So this is what I would do if I was Marco Silva, and then I'll share what I think Marco's going to do. So my starting 11 would be Leno, Castagna, Robinson. I would personally go with Bassi, and if Tosin's available, Tosin. That's what I would do. Then we're talking Paulinho, Kearney, Pereira. On the left, Willian. On the right, Alex Iwobi. Yes, I said it. On the right, Alex Iwobi. And up front, Rodrigo Muniz. That's my starting 11. This is what I think Marco's going to do in this match. I think he is going to go with Leno, Castagna, Robinson. I think he will go with Diop and Ream. Then he will go with Paulinho, Kearney, and Andreas on the left. Willian on the right. I think he'll go Bobby Decadova-Reid. And up front, Rodrigo Muniz. I would play Bassi and I would play Iwobi from the get-go. They've been playing. I just don't think Marco's going to do that. Partially from the players that played in the last match to show them loyalty. But that's what I would do. I would start Bassi and Iwobi. They're your best players at those positions. I would play them from the get-go. I would start them. But I just don't think Marco's going to do it. I think it's okay if he doesn't do it, but I would rather have those two players starting in this match. That's my thoughts on that. Okay. All right. To end this episode, I'm going to share my prediction for the match. And my prediction is this. I'm going for a 3-1 Fulham victory. Yes, I said it. a 3-1 Fulham victory. I'm sure no one's going to be predicting that. But I like Fulham's chances with the players that have returned, whether they start or not. All these players now healthy. You have a bench now. I like Fulham's chances, and I do like Fulham's chances of creating down the left-hand side. And Rodrigo Muniz has to be a striker that's in form right now. I mean, feeling that he's ready to go. So I'm not saying he's going to score, but I think that he's going to be active in this match. But I'm going for a 3-1 Fulham victory. I think they're going to give up a goal, but I think it's going to be a similar scoreline. And let me just say this. I'm not disrespecting Aston Villa because I have a lot of respect for them. I just think Fulham are a team on the rise with players returning from the African Cup of Nations and dealing with a little bit of emotion with the situation with Alex Iwobi. I think that will play a factor in this. And I think the Fulham supporters are going to play a huge factor in this. I think they're going to be behind the team, not just like they always are, but I think it's going to be a little extra special to get behind Alex Iwobi because what has happened to him has been terrible, disgusting. And I expect the Fulham supporters to have their say and let Alex Iwobi know how they feel about him. And that's going to end this episode of Cottage Talk. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters find us. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. My name is Russ Goldman. Thank you as always for watching and listening to Cottage Talk, part of the talkSPORT Fan Network.